I want to pour the drink for you first, but please eat the cheese that I will also serve with the drink prior to enjoying the macchiato. The cheese is a Dutch aged Gouda. It's a high-protein cheese, and because it's a high-protein cheese, it has a small crystal in it called trisoline. Trisoline is an amino acid and a neurotransmitter to the brain, creating the feeling of pleasure. In the macchiato, this is a traditional wet macchiato that I've sweetened with a honey that has been harvested by bees that have exclusively pollinated from apple blossoms. I paired the cheese with this drink to create a complete sensory experience. The aged Gouda, the pleasure that you will feel in your mouth and in your mind, will pair well with the apple blossom, or with the caramel-rich taste of the Gouda. Judges, thank you for this opportunity. I hope that next time you pass through Duluth, you visit my cafe.
Round of applause, ladies and gentlemen.
Time.
Eric Faust, Duluth Coffee Company, Duluth, Minnesota. Eric, come on over here, man.
Sure. Hey.
So, how many times have you competed?
0.
Well, no, you competed one time.
I've competed one time. Yes, thank you.
First competition.
I hope it was an okay debut for Duluth.
Yeah, definitely so. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Representing the hometown with hometown ingredients, I think we all want to jump in a bus, head on up there, especially for that water.
Absolutely.
Sounds good. So what made you decide to want to compete this year?
You know, I've been in the industry in a lot of different ways for the last 5 to 10 years, and, opening a coffee company in Duluth was a passion of mine. And we opened 1 year ago today, and it was just, it's been a great past year bringing good coffee, quality coffee to Duluth. And being the owner of my company, I felt it important to be here and show everybody that owners still work behind the bar. So
That's right. So 1 year today.
1 year today.
Happy anniversary.
Thank you.
That's impressive.
Yeah.
That's really incredible.
Cool.
Yeah, congratulations.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for bringing the treats down from Duluth.
Cool.
Yeah,
thank you.
We'll talk to you later. Okay, so right now we have a little bit of time to kind of hang out for a while, chat, pardon me. By the way, speaking of which, our judges are all volunteers. That without our judges volunteering their time, without our volunteers volunteering their time, clearing away the dishes, washing dishes in the back, none of this would be possible. So please, whenever you see these people, give them a big thank you, a big hug. Yeah, they deserve a big round of applause. Also, I will say our 19th competitor is coming up next. We have 20 competitors total. After the last competitor is done, we will be announcing the 6 finalists for the North Central Brewers Cup. The compulsory round happened earlier, quietly, over there. You saw a bunch of people brewing up on the boxing ring. Tomorrow morning, they're going to be up there. The South Central compulsory round is going to be going on, as well as the North Central finals round will also be going on tomorrow. So we don't want to miss that. So those finalists are going to be announced right after the last competitor today. All right? Also, for those of you who may just be joining us and may not know exactly what this whole barista competition thing is, this is actually an amalgamation of 2 regions in the United States, the South Central region and the North Central region. The North Central region consists of North Dakota, South Dakota, Nebraska, Minnesota, Iowa, Wisconsin, Illinois, Indiana, Michigan, and the South Central consists of Kansas, Missouri, Oklahoma, Texas, Arkansas, Louisiana, and Mississippi. We have a total of 42 competitors from across all of these states, many of whom have come a long way. So during the barista competition, you're seeing them folded one after another. Some are from the South Central, some are from the North Central. And then in the Brewers Cup this morning, they did the North Central compulsory round. Oh, boy. I would also like to thank our sponsors at this time. Our machine sponsors, Nuova Simonelli, have been the sponsor for, I want to say, 4 years now. And Nuova Simonelli is always there with tons of support. If anything goes down on one of these machines, it's up and running in no time. So these baristas can rest assured that they have excellently working equipment. Not only are these machines good for a barista competition, but they're also amazing for a shop environment. So if you need more information about Nuova Simonelli, you should find Ben, who I do not see right now. Also, Malkunig Grinders is our grinder sponsor. Malkunig Grinder, the K30 Vario. Oh, there's Ben. Look at Ben right there, ladies and gentlemen. I should have known he was on the machine. The man, the myth, the legend. So Malkunig Grinders, the K30 Vario is not only an excellent grinder and extremely reliable, but a grinder that a barista competitor has won with year after year. I know Pete Licata has used them for a United States Barista Championship and won that, and the World Barista Championship. Before, that was something that we had to do. These grinders are excellent. Also, while we're all hanging out, a really great place to hang out is right over there, where we have our local companies supporting the event. Forage Modern Workshop, Leatherworks of Minnesota, Greenwich Vintage, and Red Wing Shoes. They're all showcasing products here, and you can actually buy those products here. Red Wing of Roseville is the place you want to go here in town for your Red Wing needs. And then it's, in my opinion, a really cool idea to directly take those right on over to Greenwich Vintage and get some snazzy hot red soles or something like that. Amazing. What else should I fill this time Also, I would love to send an open invitation to every one of you for the party tonight. There's a party right next door to here, Architectural Antiques, from 7 p.m. to midnight. That party is sponsored by Cafe Imports, one of our event sponsors here, and also Colectivo Coffee. And there's going to be a lot of beer, a lot of food, a lot of fun. I'm also going to call Trevor Corlett up here, one of your BGA Executive Council members, to talk to you guys a little bit about the Barista Guild of America.
Thank you, Joe. So the Barista Guild of America, we have a booth, table right over here in front of this curtain, hiding the competitors back here. So if you're interested in any information, or you just like flair, and you want a button, we have buttons over here. Oh, and really awesome tasting notebooks. If you guys want to record coffee that you're tasting right now, really awesome tasting notebooks. But the BGA exists. We're a guild that's part of the Specialty Coffee Association of America, and we exist to help connect baristas, help connect you to education, help connect you to opportunities through our member companies through the SCAA. We have a very robust education program right now that's headed up by a competitor from the South Central, Lorenzo Perkins. He's the chair. He's staring at me very creepily back there. Yeah, cheers. Lorenzo chairs our certification committee. We currently have, the BJA currently has 2 levels of certification. We have a beginner level 1 Barista Guild certification and a level 2 intermediate Barista Guild certification. And by April, we'll be launching our level 3 certification. And really what those are is are certificates that you test for that say, we know this about coffee, we can execute these skill sets. And the goal being that we're developing a system where employers contact us and say, hey, we want to hire level 2 baristas to run our training program. And so they are able to use us as a resource to find baristas that fit that criteria. And so there's one big part of our program that we're working on that we're hoping will help you as membership to kind of, our goal being that we want to be the world's most important network for the professional barista. So we're trying to connect baristas to growing companies that need baristas of a high skill level. So that's what we do. We also have things like Barista Camp, which we just had one last week in Palm Springs, California. Anybody at camp last week? All right. Good time, lots of education, lots of fun, weird games that revolve around coffee, because what else would we do? We're baristas. So lots of fun stuff. We're actually launching our 3rd camp. We'll be doing 3 camps next year. So we're trying to make them hit all the regions throughout the U.S. So we're kind of doing a little traveling show with Barista Camp. So look for those things. Member-driven events like TNTs and roundtables, Prep Fest. We just did a Prep Fest in Pasadena last week. There was one in D.C. a few weeks ago. Look for those. And those are actually, you guys missed the boat on that because Big Central is competing right now. But the goal of those is to give people tools if they're interested in competing and just want to learn more about it. So those are all things the BJ is involved with. We'd love to answer any questions for you or anything. So if you see me throughout the next 2 days, just ask. Cheers.
Thank you, Trevor. And thank you, BGA. Also, I wanted to explain a little bit, kind of demystify the Brewers Cup that is going on in the back. It went on this morning. There is something called the compulsory round. I know it sounds mysterious. So basically what that is all of the baristas who have entered, or should I say brewers who have entered the Brewers Cup, get to brew a mystery coffee, however they want to brew it, and they're brewing it blind. And they present that coffee to a panel of 3 judges who do not know what that coffee is and do not know how that coffee was brewed. And then those judges score that coffee according to the SCAA score sheet that has been slightly altered to really illuminate the coffee through brewing. So they're judged on the extraction, they're judged on the coffee, and they are not judged at all on their presentation. The top 6 from each region then is able to move on to the final round, during which time they can use whatever coffee they want, whatever brewing method they want, as long as it's a manual brewing method, and they have to produce 3 cups of coffee to a panel of 3 judges. And this time they're not only judged on the extraction, but they're also judged on their presentation, etc. So it's very similar to this, but with brewed coffee and without any additional ingredients. So it's something pretty cool. So you'll want to be here at 8 o'clock tomorrow morning to watch the final round from the North Central Brewers Cup, at which time they'll be going at 8 o'clock. Sorry, mumbled off there. I love you too. Put your shirt back on. So our 19th competitor is beginning to finalize her preparation. Oh, yeah. No worries.
This one, she's going to start
It's
her
gonna be
prep
ready.
time at the same time.
That's great. Perfect.
Or do you just want me to do a normal?
All right. Are you ready for me to announce you? All right, so here today with us we have our 19th competitor. This is Helena Shakes from River Rock Coffee, St. Peters, Minnesota, which is about an hour away from here or so. How you feeling?
Ready?
Let's get a mic check. Mic check. She's feeling silent.
Yeah, I need, hello?
There she is. Now how are you feeling?
Feeling
Ready?
real.
Nice,
What
nice.
happened? Right in front of
Well, best of luck. Your judges are going to come around and meet you, and then you can tell your timekeeper when to go. All
Sounds
right.
good. Right there is perfect. Hello. Yeah, hi. Oh, am I mic'd? Hi. Hello. Hi. Thank you. You guys ready? Start with time. All right. Hello and welcome. My name is Helena, and it's great to be here today. Every coffee is full of potential, and each has its own unique flavors. And if you learn to listen, these flavors begin to tell you a story. Now, my personal journey with coffee has positively impacted my life by introducing me to the term sustainability, which is the capacity to endure. Coffee has the ability to be produced in a way that can meet our needs without negatively impacting the needs of future generations. This allows me to be really proud of what I do for a living. The coffee I want to share with you today was produced with integrity, passion, and heart. It was grown organically by a Mexican farmer from the region of Chiapas near the Guatemalan border, and his name is Mr. Agustin Gomez. Now, Mr. Gomez has the perfect ingredients to grow a great coffee. His coffee is of the Caturra varietal, which is a higher yielding mutation of Bourbon. It was grown at an altitude of about 1,700 meters in fertile soils, allowing it to have complex flavors, among which you'll find toffee and grape. It also underwent a dry fermentation, allowing it to be sweet and have flavors of honey and caramel. Now, the first time I cupped Mr. Gomez's coffee, I was really surprised by how delicious it was. And it completely shattered my preconceived notions of what a Mexican coffee had to offer. The integrity in the cup was clear. Now, I'm going to get some shots started for my signature beverage, and I'll be back to tell you some more.
Give Helena some love.
Now these shots are going to be for my signature beverage. I'm going to allow them to chill, and we'll get back to them later. Now, as I was starting to listen to this coffee, I realized how sweet it was from the dry fermentation, as well as the roasting process. And so when I imagined a milk I would pair with it to create the perfect cappuccino for you, I wanted that milk to share and accentuate its buttery and sweet notes. Now I'm going to get some cappuccino started so you can enjoy a taste for yourselves. Now for these cappuccinos, I have chosen to use a milk produced by the Daninger family at Audubon Farm because I feel its buttery notes are a wonderful addition to this coffee. Now this milk is also produced by cows that are both hormone-free and grass-fed, further adding to the integrity already in the cup. Now when I add this milk to this espresso, I find it brings really wonderful notes of butter, caramel, toffee, golden raisin, with a mild citrus acidity. Enjoy. You're welcome. I'll be right back with your second set.
Give it up for Helena's first set of cappuccinos.
Like most of us, sometimes we need to be given an opportunity to shine. The Common Yaj Noptik Cooperative created an opportunity by encouraging farmers like Mr. Gomez to bring the strengths of their coffee to us today, and by providing a location for their coffee to be properly processed. And Mr. Gomez's coffee was allowed to be separated into its own microlot so that the unique attributes of his coffee would not be muted. Among other things, he was paid a quality price to do so, thereby allowing him to continue to produce this coffee next year and hopefully for years to come. Now again, judges, for these cappuccinos, I want you to look for notes of butter, caramel, toffee, golden raisin, with a mild citrus acidity. Enjoy. Espressos will be up next.
Second round of cappuccinos by Helena.
For these espressos, I'd like you to first evaluate the crema and then wait for further instruction. Now, as I was continuing to get to know this coffee, I realized how beautiful it really sings by itself as an espresso, and how its complexity continues to come forward as it continues to cool. Now, for these espressos, I want you to look for notes of a citrus acidity up front, with grape and honey and caramel and toffee on the finish. Now stir up and enjoy.
Elena's espresso round, ladies and gentlemen.
I feel grateful to Cafe Imports for noticing and valuing the potential in passionate farmers like Mr. Gomez, and for bringing his coffee to the hands of equally passionate and talented roasters like the roasters at Kickapoo Coffee. Without their investment in the potential of this coffee, we would not have the opportunity to enjoy it today. Their beliefs and sustainable practices that lie at the heart of their businesses have helped to maintain the integrity, passion, and heart of this coffee. Now, as I was starting to get intimate with this coffee, I realized that as it continues to cool, its complex flavors continue to come forward, and how it's really beautiful by itself. So for my signature beverage, I've chosen to serve this drink chilled with an espresso chilled, and add just 2 ingredients to help enhance its inherent flavors. Earlier you saw me melting down a linden honey. I've chosen this because it's a complex honey, therefore paralleling the qualities of the coffee. And it also pairs really great with citrus. I've chosen to add grapefruit zest because I wanted to enhance those citrus notes of the coffee, and because it's a complex citrus, therefore further mirroring the qualities of both the coffee and the honey. Now for this beverage, the grapefruit zest is just going to be for garnish, so I'm going to ask that you don't consume it. I've chosen to serve this drink chilled rather than over ice because I didn't want to dilute its intensity or to serve it too cool, that it would mask the flavors. Now with this drink, I'm going to ask that you first take in its chocolatey and citrus aroma, swirled in its glass, and then enjoy notes of honey, caramel, fudge, citrus, and a flavor I can only describe as a Tootsie Pop. Thank you for your time today.
Helena Shanks, ladies and gentlemen. River Rock Coffee in St. Peter, Minnesota. Helena, come on over. Well done.
Thank you.
How you feeling?
Really good.
Really good?
Yeah.
I can smell that citrus aroma from,
Isn't it awesome?
from here. It's beautiful. Yeah. You picked a good grapefruit.
Yeah, I did.
So, tell me a little bit about your journey.
Well, 6 weeks ago, I was just going to volunteer at this event, and Joe happened to convince me that the only way I would learn was by doing it, so I just did it. And I can't believe that was only 6 weeks ago. It's been awesome.
That's right.
Been practicing at Cafe Imports, and it's an awesome place to been practicing. I'm lucky to have it. Seriously. Couldn't have done it without your support.
Well, our pleasure, definitely. Cafe Imports at the mill, we have a machine, so Helena and a few other people have been coming in and hanging out and pulling shots and all of that. So we appreciate you being there. But more importantly than that, you've had a massive amount of support from your cafe, Kickapoo Coffee Roasters, everybody along the line.
Oh my gosh, so many people to thank.
So tell me a little bit about your signature beverage. Very simple.
Yeah.
Honey and just a zest of grapefruit.
Mm-hmm. It's been kind of a little bit of a journey with that signature beverage. As it was cooling, it was really bringing forward these nice grapefruit notes. So originally I was using grapefruit juice, but grapefruits aren't the best right now because they aren't in season. It's the end of their season, actually. So 3 days ago, we chose to change it. We realized the zest on the grapefruit was really great, so we wanted to add that to it, and it turned out that it worked really well with the honey. It all paired together really nicely. And the linden honey is actually a local honey we use at our shop, so it was great to involve them as well.
That's fantastic. Well, thank you so much. It was a beautiful presentation.
Thank you.
We really appreciate it. Yeah. All right. So now this brings us to our final competitor of day one. Ms. Shannon Steel Knuckles of Passion House Coffee Roasters in Chicago, Illinois.
Hi. 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 Hi, how are you? Hi, how are you?
So Shannon, whenever your judges are settled and you're feeling ready to go,
yeah.
best of luck to you.
Like present, right?
That's right. This gentleman will start your time.
All right. There's no button today? All right. Sorry, give me 1 second. And start. One of my favorite moments in coffee was an evening when Talia Schrader came in to get her usual. After serving her, she peeked her head around and said, "You have a different perspective on espresso." Wondering what she meant led me to discover that my perspective on espresso is all about a different idea of balance. In coffee, when we think of balance, we think about correct proportions. But for me, balance is all about the culmination of moments needed to create a complete experience. So you're probably asking yourself, what does that mean? So we're going to illustrate that through your 3 beverages presented on your menu. And then also, we have the information on the farm, Costa Rica, Las Lajas, and then information on the honey processing. And today we're going to talk a lot about flavors. So as I present them to you during each beverage, feel free, if you're not familiar, to go ahead and try it. And then these glasses here are for your use spoons. So let's get started on the cappuccino. So just like the moon is a softer reflection of the sun's intensity, a cappuccino is a great way to stretch out and tame an espresso. Thought of you as everything. You have the sweetness of the milk, which lends itself to the overall beverage. So we need to take the espresso out of balance by upping the dose to increase the overall viscosity as well as the bitterness. So let me go ahead and get started on those. Thank you.
Shannon, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm changing the dose throughout. This is going to be the largest dose. I'm going to go ahead and purge. And I'm going to use the same grind size for all of them. I could make the world as pure and strange as what I'm also using just a really low dose in general. I put you in the mirror. I put in front of me. I put in front of me. Linger on your pale blue eyes. Sorry. Linger on your pale blue eyes. Skip a life completely. Stuff it in a cup. She said money is like us in time. It lies but can't stand up. Down for you is up. So the cappuccino has the shortest time needed in order to create balance. You have the sweetness of the grass-fed milk paired with the crema that's a little more bitter. Judges, when you take visual notice of the cappuccino, it's going to be a little thin on the persistency of foam, but this is intentional and it's due to the wider mouth of this cup, which will help cool the beverage a little more quickly. It also makes it near impossible to do great latte art.
And I do it once again.
Thank you.
That you are married only proves you're my best friend.
There you are.
But it's truly, truly a sin. Linger on.
So I asked the runner to hold on to your cappuccinos just for a moment because we're going to do things a little bit differently. One of my favorite parts of a cappuccino is in that final last cold sip. So we're going to recreate that moment. Thank you. Okay, so like I said, my favorite part of a cappuccino is in that last cold sip. So we're going to pour out the majority of your beverage. Now, this is obviously a little bit messy, but I think it's well worth it. Because when you take your first sip, you're going to notice that orange buttercream, roasted cashews, and dark muscovado sugar really come out. So the coffee we're using today is an organic Costa Rica Las Lajas. That's a honey processed. And it really lends itself to a sticky sweet cup, which meant I had a lot of work to do in the roaster in order to bring out what I love in coffee, acidity and aromatics. But as a barista, I have the opportunity to bring that out even further. So I'm gonna go ahead and get started on your espressos and I'll be right back.
And it's cappuccino round, ladies and gentlemen.
So the espresso is going to be a little sticky since I'm running the dose so low. I'm also changing the dose and purge right now. Sorry, this is a bit messy. Right, ready? So judges, I'm lowering the dose even further to really allow the acidity and aromatics to take center stage in this espresso. And I want you to think of it like the sun, moving from high noon to sunset. In the beginning, it's going to be really bright, but after, it provides cooling shade for us to linger. judges, notice that the crema is the color of golden wheat, and it'll start to dissipate rather quickly, but this is intentional to produce a silkier textured shot. So go ahead and take your first sip. Notice that bright orange zest acidity that covers your whole entire palate, and then that starts to mellow out into herbaceous lemon balm, and then you have cocoa nibs that sit in the back of your throat. But before you judge it, give it a moment. Notice those golden raisins, some wildflower honey, and a rose-like aromatic come back to seep through your palate. Now you have a little bit of pink peppercorn pushing through as well. So as you're enjoying your espressos, I'm going to start your signature beverage.
Shannon's Espresso, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you. I wanted to increase the time it takes to create balance even longer in the signature beverage. So I pre-prepared the mixture ahead of time so that it could chill. But in that, I just steeped in coconut water a little bit of anise seed, some nutmeg, and some lavender for aromatics, some rose hips for herbaceousness, some orange peel for bitterness and acidity, and some golden raisins just for some more sweetness. So this drink is called Annulus. It's inspired by the hazy rays that escape when the moon covers the sun during a solar eclipse. And I really wanted to amp up the acidity and aromatics even further in this coffee, but serving this drink cold meant that I really had to increase that by the ingredients that I served. So go ahead and familiarize yourselves with both the dry ingredients and feel free to pass them along, and also the base of the beverage.
Show Shannon some support.
Actually, I'm going to lower the dose real quick. So judges, I'm lowering the dose of this espresso even further. And that's really to produce a little more of an acidic espresso. I'm just going to purge a little bit more, in order for it to shine through the ice of this beverage. All right. This is where grooming gets really difficult. Swirl your espresso into your beverage and get familiar with it. Your first sip is going to be spicy, even though the aroma is really floral and sweet. You'll also notice that the sweetness comes back to linger a little bit longer, but it takes a little while longer for this beverage to really open up. So sit with it, take your time, and enjoy. Just like the sun and moon have their own balance in life and espresso beverages, each phase has its own timing. My idea of balance is from a culmination of moments as a barista, as a buyer, as a green buyer, and a roaster. And I'm just now starting my journey of representing my passion, coffee. Time.
Shannon Steele Knuckles of Passion House Coffee. Shannon, come join me. It is warm under the lights. It is. That was a lovely presentation.
Thanks.
Lots and lots of flavors being found in your coffee.
Yeah.
I know that sometimes when I dig into a coffee, it just seems like I find more and more and more. We'll turn this way.
Yeah. Oh,
Show
I'm
your
sorry.
best side. No, that's right. I love finding other people that are out there that can dive into a coffee and find all of those things as well. So
Yeah.
tell me a little bit about the journey with this coffee for you.
Honestly, I mean, this coffee is gorgeous. When I first cupped it, I was excited by it because I talked to Francesca at this event that we did about women in coffee, and I was really excited by her passion. And then when I tasted the coffee, I was like, man, this is really nice, but I don't know that I necessarily love it. But then there was this moment where I was like, you know what? What I don't love is that the acidity is not coming out as much. And I knew that as a roaster that I was going to be able to bring that out. And I thought it represented this amazing challenge to really produce something that I loved and was still representative of the coffee that was produced. So yeah. And I just wanted to mess with the dose and the balance throughout the whole routine as much as I could, and really made it super hard on myself.
Sometimes we that do both roasting and barista stuff, we can get very carried away sometimes and down the rabbit hole of we can take a coffee and then we want to shape it in all these different ways. So yeah. I think it's really amazing whenever you can actually do that and then also bring it to a bunch of judges and have them connect to that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so congratulations.
Yeah. I'm excited that they got to taste it. So.
Yeah, it looked very lovely.
Thank you.
Yeah, we're getting a lot of good smells and stuff over here too. So.
Oh, it's me.
No.
All right. Thanks,
awesome.
Joe.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yes, congratulations. So could I have your attention, please? Our last barista competitor has just gone, which brings us to the part of the show where I have the pleasure of bringing up the Brewers Cup contenders from the North Central region who did the compulsory round earlier this morning. Quietly, nonchalantly, brewing coffee back there. So, when I call your name, please join me on the stage. We'll start over here, and then we'll kind of go all across the stage. And then from you, I will announce the top 6 who will be competing tomorrow morning. Starting with Angie McKenzie from Anodyne Coffee Roasting Company in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Come on up. Welcome. Trevor Grin from Kickapoo Coffee, Madison, Wisconsin. Daniel Bossman from Mars Cafe in Des Moines, Iowa. Madeline Carr from Comet Coffee, Ann Arbor, Michigan. Ethan Coate from Madcap Coffee, Grand Rapids, Michigan. Mike Green from Lemongello's Coffee, Holland, Michigan. Jonathan Colon, Half-Wit Coffee Roasters, Chicago, Illinois. Greg Loring Albright from Bow Trust Coffee Roasters in Chicago, Illinois. George Burnett, Intelligentsia Coffee Company, Chicago, Illinois. John Mook, Passion House Coffee Roasters, Chicago, Illinois. Kevin Rosencrans, Blackberry Market, Glen Ellen, Illinois. Dan Anderson, Dogwood Coffee Company, Minneapolis, Minnesota. Ryan Wachton, Madcap Coffee, Grand Rapids, Michigan. Adam Walsh, JBC Coffee Roasters, Madison, Wisconsin. Derek Craig, Anthology Coffee, Detroit, Michigan. Robbie Krask, Half-Wit Coffee, Chicago, Illinois. Eric Perez, Passion House Coffee Roasters, Chicago, Illinois. Hallie Migroglata, Intelligentsia Coffee, Chicago, Illinois. And Zach Althouse, Goshen Coffee, Edwardsville, Illinois. So now I'm going to open up the finals. You guys can kind of spread out if you can. Actually, come on up here. Come on up here a little bit. Spread out. So this is how we're going to do this. Are you guys ready for this? If I call your name, you're going to step forward. The top 6. I'm going to get out of your way. And once I call your name, those of you remaining after I've called all 6 can be dismissed. We will give you a certificate and all of that, but the 6 that remain stay up there for a while for your photo op. These are in no particular order or ranking. These are chosen random. Our first finalist, who will be competing tomorrow morning, Derek Craig, Anthology Coffee, Detroit, Michigan. Our second finalist, from Edwardsville, Illinois, Zach Althouse, Goshen Coffee. Our third finalist, from Passion House Coffee Roasters in Chicago, Illinois, John Mook. Our fourth finalist, from Des Moines, Iowa, Daniel Bossman of Mars Cafe. Our fifth finalist, George Burnett of Intelligentsia Coffee and Tea, Chicago, Illinois. And our sixth and final finalist, from Kickapoo Coffee, Trevor Green, Madison, Wisconsin. These are your 6 finalists for the North Central Regional Brewers Cup, ladies and gentlemen. So you finalists hold tight for just a minute. Those of you that competed, we thank you so much for your competition in the compulsory round, and we hope to see you all again next year. So the Brewers Cup opens tomorrow with service at 8:15 a.m. Please come and watch. Right now, there's going to be a party at 7 o'clock with Cafe Imports and Colectivo Coffee. It's going to be from 7 to midnight right here, right next door at Architectural Antiques. And so this concludes day 1 of round 1 at the 2014 Big Central event hosted by Wilbur Curtis and Cafe Imports. Please join us back here tomorrow morning at around 8 a.m. to watch the North Central Brewers Cup Finals and more of Round 1. Thank you all. Have a great night.